I want to take a moment tonight to talk about gamers. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say. You're going to say gamers are the worst. They are insufferable little trolls. They are internet tough guys who like to challenge people, even though the closest thing they've ever come to a fight requires them to hold down the A key while hitting this other button, whatever's on those little controllers that they live their lives through. They're guys on the internet that, like to challenge everybody else's sexuality, even though the closest thing to a sexual experience they've ever had is, jizzing in a sock in their bedroom while they hope their mom doesn't knock on the door. And I'm not going to argue with you. They are horrible, horrible things. They are a blight on society. No one can argue that. But, eventually they grow up and they become just like normal, insufferable assholes like the rest of us. They grow out of that. So what I want to talk to you about these gamers is not, what they are now, but what they're going to be eventually. And that's they're going to eventually be adults. They're going to be voting adults. And I want to talk about something that's different between them and my generation. And that difference is exposure. A lot of people my age, especially those that are anti-gun, have never been exposed to firearms, period. They don't think of firearms in anything other than what they see them on the news as something that a bad guy uses to kill a good guy. And occasionally something that cops use to kill bad guys. They don't see them as anything beyond that because they've never really been exposed to anything different. People like myself that were raised around them, it's hard for us to comprehend this, but a lot of people grow up having never seen, touched, or used a firearm for anything. Hunting, self-defense, anything. They have absolutely no reference to them in their lives. And it becomes really easy to judge something when the only thing you know of it is bad news that you see on television. It becomes really easy to become afraid of these things because you think of them as instruments of death. You don't see them for what they are, which is just a tool. The big difference about the gamers is they are exposed to them. Even if it's just virtually, this is how a lot of these people get a lot of their experiences at first, is virtually. So these people grow up thinking, these guns are something that I've seen, that I even know about, that I actually study in my video games to learn the capabilities of. They think of them as tools. I mean, when I was growing up, the only video games we played was like Pac-Man, and he wasn't even packing anything, so I don't know why they called him Pac-Man. They should have just called him that little yellow guy that doesn't have a gun, so he has to run from the ghosts. So these kids that are gamers now are going to grow up and become adults who aren't afraid of guns. They know things about them beyond just what they're told in the media. And in fact, a lot of them are going to grow up saying, hey, I used to shoot a P226 in this video game, and man, I would really love to own one now, a real one. Now that I'm an adult in the real world and I have real responsibilities and I have real things to protect, this gun was really good at protecting my base station in this video game. It should be really good at protecting my home now that I'm an adult with things worth protecting, like a family and children, etc. So even though gamers are awful, let's not lose sight of the fact that one day they're going to be adults just like us. They're going to grow out of the gamer stage. I mean, they always may be gamers their entire life, but hopefully they'll be a little more mature. They won't be the kind of gamer that we hate on the internet. And not only will they mature, they'll be more accustomed to guns. They'll even want those guns. Not all of them, but some of them. So let's try to keep that in mind when we try to tear down the gamer culture and we say, oh, I hate these guys that all they know about guns is what they see on the internet or what they see in their video games. I'm glad they're seeing them. Because what I want is I want the next generation to grow up being exposed to firearms, not just knowing about them, what they hear on the news, but actually thinking of them as a tool and seeing how they can be useful. Because in the end, I don't see that as being anything but beneficial to you, to me, to society, and to gun rights as a whole. You ain't even my real dad. That's the way we usually think of them. We think of these little gayers as guys that... Gamers. Gayers. Freudian. And the closest thing they have to a real-world sexual experience is coming in a sock in their bedroom, hoping their mom does... I should say coming. Coming's gross. What did I say? Not coming. Oh, this video is going to piss some people off. Of course, so does this hat. This hat angers people for some reason.